Hey everyone, Late9 here. In this video, we're going to be doing a guide over Battle Tower Floor 60, and this is a really important tower. One, because it gets considerably more difficult, and two, you get 1,000 blue crystals for clearing it, along with a bunch of memories for your characters, so this is a pretty important stage. The first thing we're going to do is look at the enemy info here, and we can see that we're going to need lightning damage and earth damage. We're also going to need X sigil and circle sigil in order to break those for the final boss. Going into the team setup, Cloud is coming back because he is the lightning master, and that's going to be really helpful for killing the add-on units. But going through the setup here, first we'll start with Tifa. I'm using Somersault in lieu of a summon because it can be cast more times, and so I can spread around the debuff more frequently, which I find is very helpful. Using Crystal Gloves here, one, because it gives her a Thunder ability, and two, just survivability in general. Plus, magic attacks are a little bit more favored here than physical, so we've kind of set her up for that. Tiger Fangs here for the attack, the magic attack, decrease. That's always useful. Sub-equipment, all event items, just trying to give her the best stats as possible. And the other thing that's really good about Crystal Gloves here is it does give us the ×2 or the +2 count to X Sigil break, so that will be useful. This is just for stats here, and this is for earth damage. Coming over to Aerith, we still have her set up to do as much healing as possible. We did sacrifice a little bit of that heal, though, to give her some thunder damage and to give her healing Asuna poison. The Rangda in the first wave can poison you, and if he does, that can really make it hard to keep everybody healed up and also be able to tank the big earthquake hit. Other than that, all free items again, trying to keep this as free-to-play friendly as possible. Coming over to Cloud, he is going to be our main lightning damage dealer. He is set up with Judgment Bolt to do the most damage possible. I did sub-equip Buster Sword to make him a little bit weaker, just to keep this free-to-play friendly, but Mirasame with the Battle Garb, that's giving us a lot of lightning potency. I put Circle Sigil on him since Tifa will be doing most of the X Sigil breaks. I gave him some earth damage, and then this is honestly, he can do some X Sigil breaking if possible, but it's one of my best materials for physical attack. Go figure, because it's the magic version. His sub-equipment is all event items again, and we just tried to give him the best stats that we possibly could. So here we are. We have just under 155,000 power, which is about 90,000 under the recommended limit. So let's get into the battles. Alright, Wave 1. Now, if you've watched any of my previous videos, it's going to be the same start. We're going to get on Tifa. We're going to upper shot the Rangda so that he does less damage. And then we are going to just focus on bursting him down. Make sure that you switch your stances before he does his water dance, and you can kind of time the Kiraga if you want. You can actually cast it a little earlier than I did and heal up right afterwards. Now, the next thing that we will do is kill off Baylor Jack, and I have tested this. The middle Baylor, the main boss here, will not use Earthquake if you do not kill Baylor Jack. The problem with that is that if you have any AoE skills at all, or if you use a summon or anything, it's going to kill off Jack. And also, it's not really worth it because Jack continually does an AoE water attack that hits everybody for about 500 damage, and it's just really not worth it. Not to mention the fact that if you kill Jack second, because he dies so easy, you have a little bit less time to kind of prep your moves for Wave 2. So, getting through the Earthquake, that's the biggest point of this. Afterwards, just Kiraga yourself back up and DPS him down. I'm going to skip through the rest of this battle because once you've gotten to this point, there's really nothing exciting. Now, Wave 2 here, I am going to show that strategy where you can make sure that Baylor Queen here doesn't cast Earthquake. So what we're going to do is we're going to get her magic attack down, and then we're going to start focusing on Baylor Jack here after we use the Judgment Bolt. And so you'll see here, Judgment Bolt basically takes Baylor Jack down pretty low. I will then kind of just start targeting him. And at this point, I hadn't yet quite decided exactly how I was going to do this fight, because I've done it by just killing the blue elemental normally and then you know, killing the Balor Queen last. But here, we're actually going to try to skip out on the big Earthquake move and kill off both the Blue Elemental and the Balor Queen around the same time. So here, I'm just going to damage Balor Queen down until I feel like she's, you know, at a threshold where the Blue Elemental explosion will kill her. And I will kind of fast forward a little bit through this part as well, just to get down to the part that's actually interesting. Now, with this hit from Cloud, I am satisfied that he is low enough, so we will start targeting the Blue Elemental here, knowing that once he gets down, he's going to, you know, essentially blow up and hopefully kill Balor Queen in, you know, both at the exact same time. So, also to note, I have not yet previously commented on this, but I am saving Healing Wind for Wave 3. I have not casted it yet because I didn't want to be in a situation where, you know, I didn't quite have it charged up, but it is going to be extremely necessary for Wave 3. One other thing that I did there is I prepped Cloud with Solid Mana Ward before we got into Wave 3. And I did that so that hopefully I can use Mana Ward, or Solid Mana Ward again on Tifa in order to buff up their magical defense. Very important because this Water Surge is going to do a lot of damage. I'm going to cast Kiraga here before switching stance because I want the max stance bonus, and I knew that I might not be able to cast that and get the stance off before he did it. You can see here Cloud down to 1052, and that's with a mid-potency magic defense buff. So this is what we've been saving Healing Wind for this whole time, because if you don't, it is really difficult to make sure everybody has enough HP and then get on the Kiragas and keep them all alive, because they will continue, Balor King will continue to dish out heavy damage, and so you need a way to essentially get kind of a free heal in there. So here we're just kind of healing up. We've now targeted the Blue Elemental on the left, and we are trying to get him down as fast as possible. Actually, both of them, we're trying to get him down while also keeping Balor King debuffed as far as his magic attack goes. All of that goes towards survivability. Killing the Blue Elementals is just to be able to get the big 10,000 bomb damage towards the Balor King to make this fight go a lot faster and make it more manageable. This Hydro Shot volley, you can see it's doing, you know, about 1,300 damage to everybody AoE, and it happens at a pretty high frequency. So we're just trying to keep him, you know, debuffed as much as possible while getting the damage in, while staying alive. And I would say staying alive is probably your #1 priority, just because of the amount of damage that's coming out. The Blue Elementals, when they blow up, they will do the majority of damage that you're probably going to do to this guy. So we know we're really close here. I'm going to Solid Mana Ward because any time that Aerith has extra ATB and there's not an immediate heal necessary, I'm trying to do the Solid Mana Ward. And I'm always going Cloud first because he has the lowest magic defense. And I really just want to keep him alive. Tifa has, I would say, I think about 15, maybe 20 more magic defense than Cloud. Here I'm hopping over onto Tifa because I don't want her to prioritize Upper Shot over X Sigil Break. I don't trust the AI, so I'm making sure that I do that on my own. Here I was trying something a little cheeky by somersaulting the Balor King. I wanted to test out if giving him magic and physical defense down would cause this Blue Elemental on the right to do more damage, which you'll see here in a moment. It does not. It'll still do that same 103,000 amount of damage. So here, because we're in the interrupt, I'm going to take this opportunity to get up Solid Mana Ward as much as I possibly can. Here you see the Elemental Explosion, 103,000 damage. And that takes him down pretty low. We get our other Solid Mana Ward off. Now this time, the Balor Queen on the right, we are not going to try to kill her. We're just going to try to break him this other time. I assume that if you kill her, he's going to have to be broken again. Not quite sure though, because every time I've beaten this, I've just ignored him. Somersault also really great here to just keep debuffing him, especially because, you know, he likes to have physical defense, and Cloud is set up for physical attack. So that's always really nice just to get that down. Here's where the bonus circle sigil break comes in handy, just because we want to make sure that we get him broken before that runs up. I imagine that would be a catastrophe if we did not get it. So just kind of pouring on the DPS and trying to keep solid mana ward up if we have extra ATB, but also make sure you have enough for the Curagas, because the damage seems to come out of nowhere with these guys. Here we go, doing the combo somersault again, followed by Judgment Bolt. And I'm including all of this, I'm not speeding it up, because I do know that this fight is going to be quite a bit more difficult for a lot of people. Rush here is going to do a lot of damage, and importantly, it's physical damage, so solid mana ward is not going to help us here. And so just make sure that you've got your team healed up for when that rush happens. You're in the home stretch though afterwards, but this is where it can be really important, and you'll notice I'm even staying in stance longer than normal because I'm really trying to have my stance switched whenever he's doing those physical attacks. I missed that one, which is unfortunate, but I'm staying in it because I know that more damage is coming and I want to get that heal. You can see that Tifa's almost dead here. Immediately cast the somersault to possibly interrupt any attack that's happening and keep him debuffed. And I am going to just try to switch stance even a little bit early, just in case there's an attack that comes through, so I can get that Curaga off as fast as possible. Although I do think that if Tifa died there, we would have still been good. But there we go. That is floor 60. Beaten, cleared, everything is good. If this video helped you clear floor 60, subscribe to my channel. I'll put out more guides and help you through future content. Feel free to leave a like or a comment if there was something that you need to see or thought there was something I could have done a little bit better. Other than that, thanks for watching.